So my refutation is on Jack Ginchey, and his main claim was consumers' uninformed fears are hurting beneficial research and usage of GMOs. And his main claims was that, his first one was, negative social perception hinders long-term development and adoption of GMOs. And his second was, there are available GMOs that are safe and beneficial to eat, unlike popular opinion. And that his third was, GMOs present a way to solve the future global food shortage. And in most of his claims, I will prove that there is faulty evidence used and skewed perceptions used to point his claims. In going back to his first claim that negative social perception hinders long-term development and adoption, he uses evidence from the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry, and Fisheries of Japan in 2002 that states that GMOs must be fully understood before we can fully utilize them. Not only is this source of information a decade and a half old, which 14 years may not seem very large, but in the recent years, the playing field of GMOs has changed so drastically that not only is this fact irrelevant, but in addition, it has also, Japan, where this statement has come from, has also seen the negativity in GMOs and ever since gone in a full ban throughout their country. So this data has not been proven to be resourceful regarding the main claim, but also has proven the opposite against it, since the country has seen the negative effects of GMOs and banned them. Further along in his first claim still, he continues to say from another source of information that most trials against GMOs are not independently driven and commercial based by a expert, Dr. George Amofa, in his statement quoted. And he paints Dr. Amofa as a supporter of GMOs, but fails to show later in Dr. Amofa's same study that he says that GMOs have the potential to be positive, but he says they can serve negative health risk and need to be labeling because it is essential. And so for this statement, the advocate has painted what seems to be a supporter of GMOs as a supporter, but he fails to realize that there needs to be regards for labeling and monitorizing of GMOs. And in the advocate's second claim, he says that there are safe GMOs to consume, but does not use any evidence that shows they are safe. Instead, he says that from a GMO supporter that states that all of the evidence used against GMOs are only cherry-picked exceptions. So much like my claim of fact argument, the advocate here is ignoring the elephant in the room. And he also still fails to state that there is any health benefits. He only says that the major health issues which are seen and globally recognized, which give the social perception that GMOs are bad, are cherry-picked. And he also goes on to say that GMOs can be more nutritious versus normal foods, but then later states that this is only an expected outcome. So today's GMOs pose no advantage whatsoever over organic or natural crops. And in the third claim, he does say that he states that GMOs will solve the future global food shortage from 2015, but although GMOs do seem like a hypothetical solution to a possible food shortage, he does not state that these herbicide-intolerant crops, which are essentially just crops that are deadly to any insects that eat them, have created even bigger problems, because in the GMO world they have created superbugs, which are just bugs that are evolved resistances against these GMOs. So they do prove no advantage whatsoever of organic crops. And overall, although social unacceptance has greatly slowed down the GMO production and usage, it is for a good reason, because GMOs have not been proven to be safe in society, and as I have stated in my successful refutation, will only create future problems in the health and safety of us. Thank you. Sorry.
All right, all the structural stuff is fine. You say that there's faulty evidence and there's kind of a skewed perception of what's being presented by the advocate. On your first point, you've got a challenge to the evidence right away, and I understood the challenge that you're making there, and I thought you had the right argument that there's a substantial change in what we've learned about GMOs since 2002, except almost all of that is asserted. And then you've got this statement that says Japan has banned them, and I'm going, well, where's your evidence on this? And I don't get any information that substantiates that. A piece of factual data like that should be easy for you to be able to cite. The same kind of issue comes up a little while later also. There are a couple of places where you make claims and don't provide any grounds to support those claims. On the argument about his second piece of evidence on the first point, you in essence suggest that his advocate, the person that he's quoting, did suggest that there are reservations. They are worried about maybe labeling the food and monitoring it, which suggests that there are some worries out there. I thought that was probably the most direct press that you had on the evidence, on the argument, and the information that, I mean, you're using the advocate's information in this situation. That's the best information that you had on that particular point. Then the argument about the second point where there's no demonstration that they are safe. You've got the same sort of thing that's going on here. You said that we are expecting these outcomes. For instance, on the future nutritional benefits, but there hasn't been any proof on that. I'm going, okay, well, maybe they failed to provide any proof. Where is the information that you've got? And on the third point, you suggest that there are these super bugs that are coming, and I don't hear any evidence that talks about these super bugs that you have mentioned. So you may have good issues that you're talking about here, but they're a little underdeveloped as far as they are arguments. All right, thank you.